Hey yo, what's up? You know what it is? It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And of course, I'd like to welcome you guys back to another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And yo, WrestleMania 33, the ultimate thrill ride. And in trying something new and continuing to diversify those bonds is gonna have a little mini prediction show, man. Try to get everybody caught up with the latest storylines and everything before WrestleMania takes place. I got the card pulled up and everything so we can go down and take a look at it. Get you caught up with everything that is the WWE. And to do that, we will start with our two pre-show matches, which I'm actually going to watch because it is WrestleMania. Our first pre-show match is Neville versus Austin Aries. And I'm like, yo, this build done been interesting because Austin Aries was doing this commentary thing for a while because honestly, it's like I thought that Austin Aries was just going to do some commentary period to just collect that check. I didn't think he was finna get back in the ring and wrestle. But, you know what I'm saying, the way that they introduced the elements of Neville and Austin Aries was repeated disrespect. I'm the king of the cruiserweight, da-da-da-da-da. And then there, Austin Aries just had enough and clocked him with that microphone. And ever since, it's just been this build. The thing that I do appreciate was they didn't just hand Austin Aries this title shot. They didn't just do that. They made him earn it in that 5-way on 205 Live, which I think for the story you appreciate because you got to overcome four of the guys, and it's just been this clashing back and forth between them. And the thing is that my question is that will they give Austin Aries this win? Because I'm having shades right now of a match that happened last year, Chris Jericho versus the phenomenal AJ Styles, and we'll talk about this match a little bit later on the card. That was a weird thing, but it's kind of apples and oranges, but it's kind of not. But I have to wonder. It's like, even though I want Austin Aries to win this because I think it would be great for the cruiserweight division, will they be non-selfish enough to give somebody who's been around the world, who's spent some time in TNA, to give him that win at WrestleMania? But that's just a thing we'll just have to sit back and see. Our other match on the pre-show is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now, here's my thing about this match. The SmackDown Tag Team Division. The majority of the damn division is in this match, and I'm trying to figure out why. Because again, if you go back to everything I predicted, this was going to be the time for American Alpha, for them to make their statement and do all that. But because of what ultimately ended up happening with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family and Randy Orton, blah, 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 is they put the titles on them way too soon. And in order for them to calm down, they had to put them back on the Usos. And I thought that before they were all confirmed to be in this match was they were just going to have a match on the pre-show and the American Alpha was just going to win it and it was just going to be a day. But now the whole tag team division for SmackDown is in this match and I'm just like, okay. Because if you could actually see my face, I just roll my eyes. But still, it's just this weird thing. So I have to sit up here before we even talk about the damn match. Is what position is the SmackDown Tag Team Division when the majority of your division is in a battle royal for Andre the Giant? Don't know. But here's the thing: is the actual match is given what they are trying to say this match did for Baron Corbin, and we'll talk a bit more about his match with Dean Ambrose in a minute, is you have to wonder, who are they going to try to use this to make an attempt to give a push to or light a firecracker under someone's ass and shoot them up like 2 or 3 spaces up the ladder some damn way. My pick to win it off that alone is Mojo Rawley. Because Mojo been doing his thing. Like, ever since Zack Ryder got injured and he healing up, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought they were going to put the title on the Hype Bros. And then they were going to lose to the Usos. And then the Usos was ultimately going to lose to American Alpha. And I just thought that was going to be the play. But then, you know, Zack Ryder got injured and things like that. It's like, I'm like, I would say Apollo Crews, but they still ain't found nothing to do with my boy. You would have thought by now he'd have had a title run at least once. They ain't done nothing with him. It's like he got Kurt Hawkins, and it's like his character just fell flat. His old Kurt this, just fell flat, nothing. I'm like, do you really try to get his rub to Braun Strowman? And it's like, you don't really need to get Braun Strowman any more over than he is. Scroll down the rest of the list, and I ain't really seeing nobody else who can really take it. Maybe Sami Zayn if you trying to do something with him, but they still trying to find something to do with Sami Zayn. So, but there may be hope for that yet, but we'll talk about what that hope is a bit later. If they want a repeat of Baron Corbin, you could possibly get this to Killian Dane. But I don't know if they finna bring him up because he doing dirt with Sanity right now. So I don't know if that's what they want to do. But it's going to be interesting regardless. It's just that my issue again is the SmackDown Tag Team division and why it's in this match and why are not the titles being defended on the biggest show of the year. It is what it is with that. Enough about Battle Royals, man. Let's get to WrestleMania in perpetuity, folks. Because our opening match, for once, isn't a damn ladder match. It's actually a six-pack challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. When Naomi got injured, honestly, and I will say this, the best thing they did was put the title back on Alexa Bliss. I'm not saying that as a shot against Becky because she's wonderful. I'm not saying that at all, but I just think that to keep that division rolling, because I really think that they really wanted to run with Naomi for a while, I didn't know if Naomi was going to come back or anything, but she's in this match. She my pick to take it because, like I said, I don't know if you're going to put the title back on Becky Lynch anytime soon. I don't know if you ever going to put the title on Natalya. I don't really know what the hell Thicky James is even doing in the mix. And Carmella and James Chinsworth can go the fuck on somewhere. That's it. That's all. Naomi win this. Give her the WrestleMania moment that's been snatched from her more than once. And let her do her thing. Let her celebrate. Let us all feel the glow of their eyes. And let her do her thing. That's just me. That's all I'm saying on the mix. So, Naomi, she's my pick to take it. She's my pick to take this one. Speaking of ladder matches that aren't the first match, the second match of WrestleMania is actually a triple threat ladder match for the Raw Tag Team Championships with Gallows and Anderson, Enzo and Big Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, this is a thing that I call hell of a go. That Enzo and Big Cass, this day moment. That if you gon' do something with these two, you need to do it now. Because I don't know how much longer, honestly, Enzo and Big Cass gonna be together. Because at some point, you're going to try to have Big Cass break off. So, if you're trying to do something, trying to get a real WrestleMania moment by the most over tag team, not the New Day, in that damn division, you get this win to Enzo and Cass. I'm like, Cesaro and Sheamus, while this weird misfit accident, they didn't have their time. And I always saw this as the destiny of Gallows and Anderson to lose the titles to Enzo and Big Cass because you need to see them overcome, this is like technically not overcome the odds, but more of, what am I trying to say? More of it that you need the good guys to beat the bad guys. Something simple, something wrestling has been built off for years. Congratulations. So, Enzo and Big Cass take this unless there is some tomfoolery that happens, and tomfoolery is always afoot when Gallows and Anderson are involved, and even Sheamus and Cesaro to a degree. So, it should be interesting to see what it is they do with all that. But, again, like I say, I expect the Raw after Mania, that opening thing, you're soft, you're sloppy. We the tag team champions now. I expect it. I expect it, and it's coming. The Intercontinental Championship. See, I'm going to state this one more time as we go through this card. I can count on one hand how many times Dean Ambrose has defended the Intercontinental title since winning it. I think it's been about 3, if my math is correct. 3 of them. So he's just been holding on to the title doing nothing. This is why I got Baron Corbin to win this. Because I don't know what they want to do with Dean. But at the same time, I don't know if they really, for real, ready to pull a world title run on Baron Corbin just yet. Because I will say this. Baron Corbin has impressed me. I'm like, Baron Corbin, I'm down. I'm down on the Baron Corbin train. I'm with this guy. I'm with it. He didn't impress me in a way that I think he deserves something. And I really think by having him head that mid-card with the title, you can tell some interesting stories and do some interesting things with that, and let Dean Ambrose crawl his way back up to the world title picture and do nothing but just be floating around there instead of just floating around in the mid-card just for find something for Dean to have to do in the meanwhile. So I got Baron Corbin to win this one because, like I said, I'm ready to see them do some real dirt with my boy Baron Corbin because the man has been impressive, and you can't even knock or deny that at all. So, like I said, I got Baron Corbin to win this one. John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. Now, depending on how you want to take this, how you want to do this, and I'm going to refer to this in a couple of these matches, the Tree of Destiny, because you have so many ways you can travel down to the end. But in this case, it's one of two things. We know that John Cena, after this match, he gonna be off TV for a while because of laser shooting smack like G.I. Joe on Saturday morning, because all they do is shoot. They shoot so much you could call them ooh la la and pudding over in that mug. That's just how it is. Anyway, is that The Miz done been kicking ass. Whether it's been in the ring, on the mic, on talking smack, Miz been doing dirt. I expect Miz to be World Heavyweight Champion. Well, is it the World? Look, I expect Miz to be the champion before SummerSlam. If they do that right, they can do it. Depending on the story that you want to progress forward from this, is if you trying to turn Miz in the story as a legitimate contender to the World Heavyweight Championship, The Miz and Maurice win this match. The Miz and Maurice should win this match because John Cena ain't gonna be on TV for like 4 or 5 months. He gonna be gone for a while doing what John Cena do, and Nikki Bella can go float back down to the women's division and do nothing while Naomi's holding the title, making us feel a glow because of that ass. The Miz and Maurice need to win this match. Because that's what I want. Not even because that's what should happen, because that's what I want. Because The Miz needs to beat John Cena on this grand stage so that he can slide up to the world title picture. Whatever they figure out what to do with Bray and Randy Orton, and we'll speak about that a little bit later, to figure out what they're going to do with that, and then have The Miz win the title somehow. That just seems like the thing that makes the most story sense. Because if John Cena win, is that you could probably tell that same story, but it just won't be as fun, because I need Miz to come out on SmackDown Live after Mania and just be like, I beat John Cena, and just shoot on it. I need that. Because I'm like, that Total Bellas bullshit was comedy. The stuff that he do on Talking Smack, some of the nastiest gangster shit I've seen in wrestling in quite a while. So, I need to see The Miz with the belt, and I think The Miz with the belt starts with him beating John Cena in WrestleMania. But I got them to win it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they just give Cena the win and run back WrestleMania 27 because, weird things like that. And another one of those, you won a title, but you never defended, is Chris Jericho versus KO for the United States Championship. Jericho and KO have been some of the most entertaining stuff that have been on WWE TV all year. Everything about that union, including the lead up to this match, well, maybe not the lead up to this match because it got a little weak after KO lost the title to Goldberg, but we'll talk more about that in a minute, is Chris Jericho that done an amazing job. I'm like, we talking about a man who got a clipboard and a piece of paper over. Now, great wrestlers can get things over. Like, look at the New Day, for example. Remember, they came out, wanted to be preachers and stuff like that. Now they ride around with unicorns selling ice cream and cereal. So, in a world that we live in, anything is possible. In this instance, we talking about a man who got over a clipboard and a piece of paper. You know what else he got over? Both him and KO? The friendship. The camaraderie. The tomfoolery and the fuckery that led into every time you knew Chris Jericho was going to find a way to bail out the homie. You already knew. I got your back, dog. Whatever you need. Even making it look like I betrayed you in order for KO to keep the belt. And then he cost him the belt right after that. Is that I feel that even though that my personal thoughts about Goldberg being the champion aside, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is that there were a lot of better ways that whole situation where Goldberg ultimately winning could have went. Because I honestly thought that that Goldberg was going to run out and cost Goldberg the title. But the opposite happened. So, given even that, like I said, it's been amazing. The Festival of Friendship. One of the greatest promos ever. Had the whole music, song, and dance, everything got him over. And then KO shoved Chris Jericho's head into a TV. And then beat that ass really, really bad. I'm like, I was legitimately heartbroken. Because that's how into that I was. And when you can get over that type of feeling on the viewer, you've done your job. Given that this is what it is, I got my boy KO winning this. Because I don't know what Chris Jericho going to do after Mania. I don't, really read too much into that when I don't hear about it. But I really think that it would be great for KO to have the United States title, to put a title back on him, so that he can do some stuff in the mid-card, and maybe you can get Sami Zayn on the title or something. But we've seen Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn a billion times, which is why they should trade his ass to SmackDown so we can get some fresh damn matches. How about that? Okay? We cool? Thank you. We have our fatal 4-way elimination match for the Raw Women's Championship. And here's the thing. First of all, let's say this live. I appreciate that this is an elimination match, so no Ric Flair tomfoolery, no bullshit, nothing. We have to eliminate 3 of these women have to be eliminated in order to win the title. But what do you do? Charlotte's streak, it don't matter anymore. And I don't see her winning this match anyway. So she's out. Nia Jax, thick as a cutie as she is, I don't see her winning this match either, because, not saying that it isn't her time, but you have a more compelling story that you can tell with Bayley and Sasha Banks, so Nia's out. So here's the thing. What do you do? You got my boo Sasha. That's based off Cutie Pie each. That's what's up. Who I thought should have won the title last year at WrestleMania. Is that with this Bayley and Sasha dynamic, you have things that you can do with this. Like legitimately things that you can really do with this. Is that if you want to give Sasha the title and turn her heel, you have that option. Which is probably, I think, is going to be what happens. Because, not saying that Bayley shouldn't deserve to retain her title with Mania, but what can you really do with Bayley? Because you're not finna turn Miss Hug Life. I don't know how. I'm not sitting up here saying that Bayley couldn't carry a heel character, but how do you turn from Hug Life to Thug Life? I just said that. I didn't choose the Hug Life. The Hug Life chose me. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. So, if you need, the best thing to do is, no matter what, if it's Bayley versus Sasha at the end of this, Sasha gets turned heel whether she wins or lose. I would prefer Sasha win because Sasha is Bae. We just said this. So, it just depends on, ultimately, what they really want to do with the story moving forward. It's like, do you have Bayley retain? Or do you put the title on Sasha? Which is what I would prefer. Sasha turns heel no matter what. Either she turns heel because she does something so fucked up to Bayley that that we as the fans have no choice but to accept that Sasha's a heel now, or she turns heel simply because she loses and is jealous. You can write this any way you want. I want Sasha to win, but she turns heel no matter what happens. So there you go. See, this right here is another little problem I got. Because we talking about Shane O'Mac Daddy, Son Dollar Dollar, versus the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Now, if you remember last year, AJ Styles had a match against Chris Jericho, and he lost. And we sat up here, and I'm not talking about me, we talking about the internet wrestling community in general, trying to figure out why in the hell was AJ Styles wrestling Chris Jericho on WrestleMania in the first place after AJ had won the series and the storyline was over. But whatever. The thing is that since then, AJ has gone on to be one of the best that WWE has to offer today. He sat up here and made Roman Reigns look good in repeated losing efforts when he should have won the title. Did all that work. I'm going to beat up John Cena. Did it repeatedly. All AJ Styles been doing since he got to the WWE is kicking ass. So when I sit up here and I look at the WrestleMania card and I'm like, why is Shane O'Mac fighting AJ Styles? And I'm just like I get it, Shane. You my fam though, man. You've been my guy for years. But if you want to dive off something, you rich. Just go buy a diving board and jump off something. I'm like, my thing is that I'm not mad at the match. It's just, it's me personally as a fan of AJ Styles, the wrestler. I just feel that this is a waste of his time. Is that not saying that AJ can't make Shane look good, because he can. Because Shane can get down in the ring. We know that. Rabbit punches but it's like you have to wonder. The question for real is, it ain't who gonna win the match. Is I hear there's a roller coaster built into the set of WrestleMania 33. Is Shane gonna jump off the motherfucker? I'm shaking his 8-ball. The answer points to yeah, he gonna dive off that bitch. So there. What happens from this point on? It ain't gonna affect Shane, and it may not affect AJ to a degree, but I don't know. I'm like, I want to see AJ Styles win it, but it would be cool to see Shane win this match after diving off something. So I don't know who to take. I'm like, depending on what kind of story, because like you got the tree of destiny here, and it's like there's really no choice, because it's like no matter who wins or loses or whatever, I don't know. I don't have a prediction here, because it's like there's really no clear-cut way to see, depending on how they want to write the story from here. Because this is a match where, this is a match, and then things will go back to normal. Things will go back to normal on SmackDown. Shane will still be the commissioner. AJ will still be one of the best wrestlers on the roster in the WWE, period. So it don't really matter who wins, given the story you want to tell. But if you still want to make AJ look like a credible threat, you give him the win. If you need Shane to sit up here and look like that he the badass that he is, then you give him the win. So I'm stuck on that. And we're not gonna stay on this, but I'm stuck on it because I don't know, like, there's really no next story beat for either one of these people. So you don't really know, like, what would be best to perfuse the story for. So here's my prediction. Shane jumps off something really high. Depending on what that high thing is, that either leads into a pin or leads some ultimate offense that leads into a phenomenal forearm into a Styles clash. Tree of Destiny. Moving right along. We have our non-sanctioned match with Seth freaking Rollins, the Game, the cerebral ass assassin, the King of Queens, Triple H. Now see, I'll make this simple. We won't stay on this all night. last year, Triple H was the champion. For no reason other than he was the champion and we don't know why. That should have been Dean and Ambrose. Should have been Dean now. Should have been Dino. It was at that point, anybody but Roman, bitch ass. That's what we were saying. Internet community, me especially. Anybody but Roman Reigns, old bitch ass. However, Triple H won the Royal Rumble. And then he got beat by Roman Reigns for reasons we still don't get. My problem with this match is this should have been in happen. Because what this match honestly is and should be this passing of the torch from Triple H to Seth Rollins. That's what this match should be. Because I'm not saying that Triple H should go back to his hot wife, his children, and his job where he runs the damn company and go sit his ass down and let Seth Rollins wrestle. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I'm not going to not enjoy Stephanie wearing something really hot tonight because last year she wore bondage gear and it turned me on, but that's another conversation. Here's the thing. Cut and dry, whether you want to do whatever, involve Mr. Sledge, bring out the kids. If you want to bring off Finn Balor ass out there, Joe to choke him out, whatever. Seth Rollins needs to win this match. That is the correct way to propel this story forward. Because if Seth Rollins loses, then what was the face turn for? If Seth Rollins loses to Triple H tonight, what was the face turn for? It would have been all wasted off and now he might as well just he might as well been authority for life. You might as well just have done that and just kept it the way it was and move on. The end. Seth Rollins. That's just how I'm just like, that's the only way you can write that, and that makes common sense. Have them go forth, introduce a sledgehammer, do whatever it is you're going to do. But as long as Seth Rollins is the victor, that is the only way this works. This should be a passing of the torch. That's just what it should be, and we should just move on from that. That's just what it is. That's it. Because if I say any more, I'm going to raise my blood pressure, and I don't want to do that. Speaking of torch passing, we got The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. This ain't a match for a title. This ain't a match for anything. Well, technically it is for something. It's who wants to bury bones in whose yard. Because at this juncture, The Undertaker, there is no streak. We could get into the streak, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, even Bray Wyatt to a degree. We can get into all that. And we can get into how he should have left after that second match with Triple H and just retired, took his damn Hall of Fame ring and sat his old ass down. But he didn't. And then they gave Brock Lesnar the rub for beating him and he didn't do shit with it. We're getting on that subject. Please stop. This has been a weird build since Roman Reigns eliminated The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. Giancarlo Veronini would be proud. I just had to say that. Anywho, no matter what happens, if this does not end in some kind of smuggish heel turn for Roman Reigns, then this is a waste of everybody's time. It's like Roman Reigns can still be smug asshole. The kids will still love him. The girls will want them to come on their faces because these girls are some nasty ass tricks. If this match does not end with Roman Reigns in a heel turn or some kind of smuggish change in attitude because we know he can pull it off, because we know he can pull off smug, I don't give a fuck badass, he can do it, but they won't let him. This is if you want to call this another passing of the torch, you can. But if this doesn't end into something major and a major change in Roman's character, then this match, just as Roman Reigns has been the past couple years since he left the Shield, will be a waste. That's just what it is, in and out. Done, 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 done. You either do something with Roman Reigns at this point, or you do nothing. You do nothing, and he just gonna be another John Cena or technically another Bailey, where he gonna be this face forever when you know he can do stuff better. Because it's like, even in mentioning John Cena and Bailey, Roman Reigns is the only person who can really do something as a smuggish heel and still be over, and they'll still love him. But it's like they gotta pull the trigger, and I think this is the match where you pull the trigger. If Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker, that's superior nuclear X-Pac heat that you give it to this dude. And if he wins, he gets this heat and y'all don't do nothing with it. Y'all sitting up here and wasting Roman Reigns. I want to see Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker for nothing more than to see if the WWE will really do something to evolve his damn character past suffering succotasses and potatoes and believe it like Naruto Uzumaki. So, I'm like, of course I want to see the OG. I want to see some old school. I want to see all that. If this is really the passing of the torch and you really ready to do something for real with Roman Reigns, have him beat The Undertaker, have him absorb this nuclear supreme X-Pac level heat, turn him into a smuggish bastard heel, and let him do work. Let him work. Well, yeah, we here now. See, I've had problems with this card, and I've mentioned them at this point. Here's my real problem. Why is Goldberg the fucking champion? Why does Goldberg have the fruit roll-up belt? Why? My problem with this damn match is this match didn't need the title. But at the same time, Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens didn't need the title, but it could have been interesting for some title versus title shenanigans if they want to do this, and it would technically be better than the old guy who can only wrestle for 30 seconds versus the person who, if he wins the title, will never fucking be around to have the title up. Do we remember 2014? Anybody? When Brock won the title, where was that nigga? He wasn't nowhere to be fucking seen. I'm a champion. I come on TV when I feel like it. We ignore the belt because it ain't here, but when it's here, it's a big deal. No. We can't do that again. So, welcome back to the Tree of Destiny, because there are only two ways that this can go. Goldberg hits Brock with another surprise 1-2 combo, gets the pin, walks out tomorrow night on the WrestleMania, puts the fruit roll-up belt on the ground and say, look, I done been a superhero. I'm hanging up my cape. I'm taking my old ass home to my wife and my kid. I holla niggas peace. Or you have Brock win it and he just off TV. See, there is no Seth Rollins, no architect, no money in the bank to save you from this mistake you're about to make. No, nothing. So, if Goldberg wins and he drops it, I'm okay with that. I just don't know as a fan if I'm okay with Brock Lesnar winning the title and just being off TV for like 6 fucking months at a time. If that having Goldberg relinquish the belt and then putting it on somebody, possibly Finn Balor, because that's what I would prefer, is you do that. Again, I would have at this point preferred Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens, title versus title, over a match that didn't need the title to elevate it, and that's my issue. Goldberg and Brock was so hyped, so over. You didn't need the belt. This is CM Punk The Rock all over again, because as much as it was cool for Rock to introduce a new belt and you smell and da-da-da-da-da, something about Ballers on HBO, something, Fast and the Furious, blah, 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 he didn't need that title run either. CM Punk didn't need his momentum stopped, and neither did technically KO. Even though that he was kind of sort of spinning his wheels at the championship, but to have this match be contested for the title, for a match that doesn't need it, for two part-timers to be fighting over the damn belt in the first place, it makes zero sense. So either Goldberg wins, he drops the title, or Brock Lesnar just gonna be off TV. Or here's option C. Brock Lesnar wins. He goes to the WrestleMania and just starts murdering motherfuckers. Just murdering fools, right? Murder them so bad they make him relinquish it. I don't want either one of these motherfuckers being the champion. I don't. And I'm not sitting there. I'm saying that not as a fan. I'm saying that for the sake of the story. Neither one of these fools needs to be the champion for more than 24 hours. That's it. Neither one of these fools need to be champion. So either Goldberg finna whoop him in 10 seconds, or Brock Lesnar finna kill his old fool. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter who wins, we all lose. It don't matter who wins. This is a match where everybody loses. No one gains anything from that. To quote Chrono Trigger, the future refused to change. No one wins from this at all. No one. No one wins. So, if Goldberg wins, drop the title, that's probably the only outcome of this I'm okay with. The Brock Lesnar murdering motherfuckers thing, that seems kind of cool, but Brock Lesnar don't need to be the champion for less than a day before dropping it and giving it to somebody, preferably Finn Balor, because that's what I want. Hopefully they trade Sami Zayn ass, but that's another thing. Let's get to the main event of the evening. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Before we get into that, I got a little history for y'all. I don't know if y'all remember, but last year, Eric Rowan took a hit at his own expense, his own career, all of that, because Vegan Man had a fucking concussion and can't wrestle no more. So to be nice, we can't have him be in the record books for the shortest match in WrestleMania history. So let's make up this thing with John Cena and The Rock, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, what a year can do for you. I'm like, Luke Harper, he done broke out doing his own thing. I'm like, they got him up here clowning like he was before he came to the WWE. And it's amazing to see my boy Luke Harper do his thing. This build has been extra weird. This build has been extra weird. Because Randy Orton wins the Royal Rumble. And he probably shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble, just as such as Roman Reigns should have never been 30 in the Rumble either. Point withstanding, Randy Orton wins the Rumble. He takes the knee for Bray Wyatt and says, hey, yo, you my folks, let's pound it. I don't want to compete for the title. So we have number one contenders battle royals, matches, blah, blah, blah. Something about Luke Harper actually winning the match when he actually won the match, but we can't call it draw because, you know, our storytelling and also how we plan spots sucks, so too fucking bad, pal. So there's that. Then you have them wrestle. Then AJ wins. That ultimately leads to him facing Randy Orton in one of the best spots I've ever seen, where he faked doing a phenomenal forearm trying to get him for the RKO, but Randy Orton still won anyway, which leads us to this and something about Shane getting his head slammed into a car window made of glass. Well, actually sugar, but still my point. What they do really depends, again, another one of those games of what story do you want to tell? What story do you wish to tell here? Do you really put the belt on Randy Orton? I don't think that's the smartest decision, given everything that Bray Wyatt had ultimately gone to have the trust to be the champion when he should have been the champion long before this. We done set houses on fire. We done covered ourselves in dirt and mud and worms and shit. This done just been weird. The thing is that Bray Wyatt, this is who I got for the match. But like I said earlier, ultimately, I need to see Miz with the belt. I need to see Miz with the belt before SummerSlam. I just think that's the best. And then you have a returning John Cena. You can put the belt on him for a while. So I don't care. Just as long as Miz get a run. Just as long as Miz gets a run with the championship and he just walks out every week and just fucking laser fires that motherfucker like he Starscream from 80s Transformers. As long as lasers getting shot, Megatron, Galvatron, I don't know, Cobra Commander, I don't give a fuck. Just shoot them lasers. Call Duke up. Call him. Call him Scarlet. We busting shots. Lady J was really good shooting these lasers. The foot soldiers from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shoot, 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 shoot. Call it pudding. Call it ooh la la. Shoot, 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 shoot. That's all I need him to do. So, I want Bray Wyatt to win because he deserves this. After all the shit he'd have been through with all his character of doing everything, of getting this character over, Bray Wyatt, insane cult leader, he needs this. Randy Orton don't need to win another WrestleMania match. It's not saying that he don't need to win one. It's just that for the sake of the story, it's just unnecessary as hell, actually. Very, very, very unnecessary. Get this one to Bray. Tell the story for a little while. Get the belt on the Miz. Trade Sami Zayn to SmackDown, and let's move on with our lives. How about that? So, I will be back to this after the greatest show of them all, the ultimate thrill ride, the biggest night in sports entertainment, whatever the hell you want to call it, is WrestleMania 33. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get up out of here. You know what it is, the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment to Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that, I'll have you guys next time, man. Peace out.